Hello everybody, it's Almadrite. It's been a long time since you've seen this old thing, hasn't it? It's still not entirely smooth, even with the changes I've made to it, and I'm getting my butt handed to me. Isn't that always nice? Although it is daylight now, so they should stop chasing me. Oh boy. I don't even know why I keep starting in so many different random locations. Suppose I used my spawn space too much. Anyway, this is my new little map here. As you can tell, I'm still generally uninspired by absolutely everything. And so, why is this here? A while back, Boomy mentioned that he wanted to play some Minecraft, and I'm like, sure, I'll play some Minecraft. But it has to be vanilla because my game is really, really bad. I could swear it was around here somewhere. And as you can see, it's very jerky, still very unstable. Well, here's the tree. So if I run back as far as I possibly can... Aha! Oh boy. Well, I've noticed some things. This is the nearly 0.2 patch here. They've got the shields and all the other fancy sorts of doodadery. And I gotta say, I'm not too into it. Me, not into a thing? I'd never imagined such a fate. But, yeah. They've got this thing where you automatically jump if it's one block high. It's been more of a nuisance than a help. Especially since I usually have trouble trying to fit into one block wide holes anyway. And take that last phrase as you will. I haven't been doing much of anything lately, except when Boomy said he wanted someone to play Minecraft with, I jumped on it, and, well, this is what I've done so far. In my usual motif, I've begun establishing a little village, its own parallels to the new colony system that has began cropping up. And I can't show you half of it because the instant I start recording, this crap happens. Oh well. But yeah, I'm not actually pressing the button to jump. It's jumping for me. You can turn it off. I do know that much. But it makes it extremely awkward because somebody like me who's played Minecraft for a while has the skills to automatically navigate the landscape, and usually is so streamlined in their movement that they have things timed well beyond their necessity. Like, if you saw any of my awkward jumps, you realize that I was jumping before I actually hit the gap, and then the auto jump took over and screwed it up. Which is why I'm having some of the problems. And again, the slowing down and jitteriness of having to record while playing is still a factor. Not as much of a factor anymore. I can still smoothly play. It's a little jinky. Jinky, Scoob. It's a little jinky, but I can still manage, and that's the important part. I can still manage. Unfortunately, there's nothing here you haven't really seen before. Except for the new shields and some of the new fighting mumbo-jumbo they've put in. Go away, dog. Stupid dog. So, as you can see, I'm taking the time to collect a lot of wood. Because according to my village scheme, now that I have finally acquired wool, I can make beds. And it took me forever to find wool because rather than make it easier to find the thing that helps you avoid monsters, they actually just made it easier for you to destroy things, and, well, that was never going to work. The combat system has been refined, but I hesitate to call it an improvement. A lot of other stuff has been refined and streamlined, but again, I hesitate to call it improvements. I found cows right off the bat. I found chickens right off the bat, but I did not find sheep. And anybody knows that in order to skip over the night and actually make your settlement / base safe, you need freaking wool. Well, there's more of my settlement finally showing up. I don't know how else to say it. What can I say? I do my best work in cobbles. My typical mine setup there, and one over there that's still partially hidden. My typical housing setups. I even reverted back to my typical farm because it doesn't need to look pretty because I'm me, and things don't need to look pretty for me. But way down in my mine network, yes, I did say network, I have an abandoned mine shaft, which is where I found a ton of webbing, which allowed me to get a ton of string, which is why I have wool, and the only thing that has given me wool this entire time. Everybody claims it's so much easier and so much more functional, and I still have to say, you know, not really, because random chance still has way too much influence on the game. And you know me, I'm the kind of guy that actually likes random chance and random influence. I don't mind one bit. I'm glad that there are subtle hints and sudden changes that keep things fresh and interesting. I really am. But the fact of the matter is, 9 times out of 10, there are things that you just can't control that make things more difficult than they should be. Now, of course, since I didn't find wool right off the bat in order to keep it, you know, in sync with the rest of my development, now I have to add it as one big thing. And what do I do in these occasions, ladies and gentlemen? I build an inn. So, that's what all the wood's for. you know, in case you didn't already notice. I do have access to tools, of course, I just don't care. You know, why take up more resources? Another strange thing about being me, I suppose, as to compared to every other Minecrafter ever who's like, oh my god, must find diamonds to make shovel, rawr. Okay, so I'm going to have my inn up here, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and follow the land across to right about here. Build like a tavernish institution down here. A tavernish area about 4 blocks high. And then the next one will be the loft or sleeping area, in which I will put all of my beds, and that will be where I spawn from. My traditional storage pit. No real way to do a good representation of the underground in this game. I don't think that's enough wood. But anyway, I'll make an extra chest so I can plop down some of this other junk, and then we won't have to bother with it for some time. And that, and that, and that. Oh, but I also need stone. I should have extra in my mine. Yay, that building is slowly coming together in the shape that I originally intended it to be. I gotta tell you, some of these new things have been so darn annoying. 64 cobblestone is definitely not going to be enough. Some of these things have just turned out to be so annoying, and people love it for some reason, like making 3 doors instead of 1. I can understand some people when they said it was kind of a lot of resources to have 2 logs, well, a log and a half, go into making a door, and only having 1 door. Yes, I can understand that. But then they made it in batches of 3. I never need a full 3 doors. If I'm building a building, I only have 1 door on it. Most people might have 2. Might have 2 doors. No one has 3 doors in a house they build on Minecraft. Oh, great. I just can't catch a break, can I? Well, screw you, skeleton. I have a way around you. See, like I said, with my mining network, I knew I didn't put everything. It's crude, but it works. I do love how HP actually recovers fairly quickly now. See, the mine I'm talking about is down there. But if we go off to the other side, we should end up way the heck out here. And he beat me here. How dare he? And he brought friends. Great. You'll never take me alive. Oh boy. This is why generally when I start these projects, the underground areas are always first. Because, frankly, it's safer that way. But nobody ever believes me, no. Well, I was going to have to build these beds eventually just to have them there so that I can, you know, call it an inn. Am I clear? I'm clear! Surprisingly, I have noted that they've made it a lot easier to survive the first nights. Like, literally, the first few nights that I had in this game, I did not get attacked by anything. Like, quite literally anything. I'm gonna need a door. I suppose since I've got you guys watching, I might expedite the process somewhat. I've never been one to rush everything, you know, I just don't... I don't see it that way, okay? You guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody's like, oh, gotta find diamonds, jump cut. I still haven't found diamonds, jump cut. Still haven't found diamonds, jump cut. And unfortunately, if you're like me, and I know some of you are, not many, but some of you are, you don't care about when the person finds diamonds, you just want to see the stuff they do. Because their personality and their techniques are interesting to watch, and that's what you came for. You didn't come to just see someone find diamonds. You could find diamonds your dang self. What you wanted was the particular interaction with the particular host. It seems the terrain may have slightly fixed itself. Hooray! Okay, now back to where I was going. I should probably get more wheat, but who cares? There's work to do. I'm going to leave a 2-block buffer around the area that I'm going to use to build, simply because 2 blocks just seems to be a suitable area. You know, when people go walking, they don't go walking through just 1 block. So I'm going to clear up this area of dirt just a bit more. I'm probably going to end up showing you guys some mining, and I know people in Minecraft hate to just watch you mine for the whole dang time, so I'm going to try and expedite the process. I'm going to try and be interesting and witty and, well, I couldn't say that with a straight face, so I hope you're in for the long haul. Now, like I said, normally beds would have been one of the first things I'd find and start to use. Every house would have had a bed in it because I'm that kind of utilitarian. As you can tell, in my scheme of things, each building in a village is meant to signify something important, or represent something important within the village. There's a house next to the mine because in an actual village, it would be someone's job to go mining. It would be someone's job to go cut wood, and I've got the woodsman shack over there somewhere with some trees planted around it because that's the largest concentration of trees. Meanwhile, I'm decimating all the other areas because, you know, that's what a village would do. Or at least in my mind. This is where you can tell exactly how janky my recording is going at the moment. Because unfortunately, it's just... the misclicking, the double clicking, it all gets so annoying. Like that. Why would I instantly place down and then open a door? Tell you why, because the dang mouse didn't function correctly. So I'm going to get some extra wood and I'm going to make a base outline of the building in wood because this is an inn. It's supposed to be more rustic and more decorative. Normally, of course, I just go underground and say, you screw using wood, because wood is a lot less practical of a building material. Especially in Minecraft when you consider how often you contact creepers. And if you saw my storage pit back there, you noticed that I had more than a few samples of gunpowder in my collection. So, yeah, I've already dealt with so many creepers. Everybody says that my building scheme is bland and boring, and I say function over form, thank you very much. You may not like that the house is gray and dull and has cracks in it everywhere, but at least you won't get blown up. Aesthetics have their place. I mean, if I was in a world where I had limitless resources, limitless time, and all that stuff, of course I'd do what I could to spruce things up. Unfortunately, I'm not a very artistic-minded person, unlike Miv. You know, if you want to see pretty things, go watch Miv. She likes to make things pretty. I don't. Not that I have a problem with it, it's just I'm not good at it. I do what I do, you do what you do, and we will all do whatever we do when we do it. I see. One of the things I didn't like, and one of the things I still don't like, are these overly large trees. Okay, for those of you that remember, way back when Minecraft started, there was only one type of tree, and then they put in more types of trees with the different wood. And basically, if you wanted more wood, you had to go after the different kinds of trees. Spruce trees gave you the most wood back in the day. So you would go wandering and wandering and wandering till you found a pine biome. Well, not pine, it's spruce, but you get the point. See there? I didn't want to jump, but it made me jump, and I don't want to jump, just I don't. Thank you. And of course, you'd find your pine tree, climb to the top of it, or just dig up from below, and that would be that. You'd get the wood and you'd be happy with it. Because that was a ton of wood. Oak trees were the standard definition. You'd get about 5 blocks of wood from an oak, and that would be that. And you'd get like 10 or so from a spruce. And you could tell you were rich as heck because you had spruce wood everywhere, and spruce was the fanciest thing ever. But then they came out with the ultra big oak trees, and it was a pain. It still is a major pain every now and then when you get the one oak tree that doesn't spawn uniformed. The branches are awesome, okay? I'll admit that. The branches are awesome, you get more wood, it makes it feel more lively, but you have to go twisting in and out all over the place all the time in order to make sure you collect every bit. And of course you're going to collect every bit because you don't want to waste the resources. You don't want anybody to think you're not using your time and energies efficiently. You don't... Yeah, I'll let that stay like that. Why not? And of course, it's nighttime again. Well, that's my point. Part of me really does like the larger oak trees, and part of me doesn't. And that's kind of where I'm sitting at right now for how they've done, like, literally everything else. Part of me does like it, part of me doesn't like it, part of me wishes they'd go back, part of me thinks they should go forward. The typical bipolar stuff that you get when you interact with me. Hi, I'm me. I'm sure you know this already. So let's just put some extra wood on the corners here. Give it a nice framework. Because, this is the kind of thing that you expect. You see the logs and the oak and wood, and you see the cozy atmosphere of everything. And as you can see, some of my houses do have windows, and some of them don't. And that's because I figured, well, why have windows where you don't have landscape? I mean, sure, you want to look out and see if there are enemies, yes, but you don't want to sit there and look at a wall of dirt all day long. So I only put windows on the sides of things that have landscape to look at. Of course, I may have cheated on my definition of landscape from time to time because windows are actually very helpful, very useful for somebody who lives inside the building to see specifically what's going on out there. And my land broke again. Oh well. I've got a supply of sand, a supply of gravel, that place where I came out at the first time. Oh, you know what? I've got some dorite and some andesite. I think I'll mess with this for a bit. This could be a nice decoration. As you can tell, I'm still not fully, this being pretty thing is not my default stance. But use what you got. I ain't got no stone, but I got something else, darn it. I'll use that. As you can tell, I tried to be symmetrical, I tried to be interesting, using different textures and different patterns, the things that the artists say you should do when you take on projects like this. I quite frankly don't see why, but I can take a hint. And some of this. This will, of course, decrease the actual amount of stone I need to use because the pillars being made of stone make everything look a little flat, make everything look a little more boring. See, 3 blocks for a window is fine for me, but any more than 3 blocks for a window just seems like cheating and repetitive. Of course, if I had actually bothered to look and measure what I was doing before I did it, then I wouldn't be having this problem. But honestly, I don't care. I just do not care. So this is the basis of the first floor. It's decked up in the fancy stone. It shows you how rich my town is. And I don't have enough stone to actually do that. What if 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this will mark places where supports will go from next side. How does that strike you? Of course, I did play around with the, oh, what was the name of the other one? The futuristic Minecraft with the kid and the self-sealing stem bolts. No, the kid and the gauntlet on the planet. The other thing, Creativerse, that's it, Creativerse. I played that one, and I did some stuff on it. I did a tribute for Mother's Day there. I made a very nice garden with a small fountain. Unfortunately, all these games seem to react to water physics the same way, so the fountain didn't really turn out to be much. Excuse me. Ugh, talking at length sometimes is not my best skill. Excuse me again. I probably should have left that torch there. Oh well. We'll just stick it up there. No harm, no foul. And that's probably not going to be enough. Oh, that's definitely not going to be enough. See, my behavior comes from how I view Let's Plays. Okay, I'm pretty freaking weird. As if you guys that know me and watch this channel and watch Fortnite don't realize that by now. I'm pretty freaking weird. I watch things differently. I watch things for different reasons, and you know, that's okay. I don't grudge anybody for the way they do things. It is our differences that make this world a wonderful place. But for me, when I do a Let's Play, well, when I watch a Let's Play, not when I do Let's Plays, we haven't done a Let's Play in a really long time. Scheduling is another thing I'm not very good at. But everybody's getting their gear back, everybody's gearing back up. So I figured, hey, why not flex the old muscles a bit? There we go, that should be plenty. I'll get a couple more pieces just to make sure those bricks don't feel left out. Modern education standards. No brick left behind. There we go. That should be enough. And one more doorite just for the heck of it. Just for the twinge of it. Now back to what I was saying, because I know that annoys some of you. I'm annoying some of you on purpose, isn't that nice? But again, for me, if it's a game that I've never played before, I want to see the game. I don't want to hear anybody's commentary. I'll zone out the person speaking almost entirely so that I can actually pay attention to the game and glean what information I can about it. And that's pretty freaking odd for some people. Not for me, because I had my tray table up in the full upright position. Yeah, why not? What the heck was that about? They say the point of Let's Plays is because no two people will ever have the same experience when they play a game. And that's very much true, but also no two people will have the same opinion. Well, unless you're the mass media of gaming and whatnot. I'm just going to put these down here because these will be a part of my decoration scheme later. But I will have these, and I will keep these here just so that I have them when I need them. I don't keep bread around, I just keep a crap ton of them. Just for such an occasion. Nice. Everything's coming splendidly. I suppose I'll break it up by having the white stone in the middle of the gray stone. It's a much more decorative way of doing things. It's a much more varied way of doing things. And people like that sort of thing. So now I'm going to need to be able to get upstairs, so to speak. So keeping the motif going here. Up with the struts. We'll fill the rest of it in with cobble. And of course I'm going to need windows. I'm going to need a lot of windows. Of course, I don't have nearly enough cobblestone. If I'm correct, I should have some glass in my storage pit. See, other times, going back to my opinions on Let's Plays, if I'm not there specifically looking at the game, then I'm there to take in the commentary, because I like people with flexible personalities. I'm not exactly sure how to define that, really, because, you know, a flexible personality is a very loose definition, but I don't know how else to put it. All of you that have been following me know my preferences for Let's Players by now, because I've told you a million times, and I've emulated their styles quite a bit. So there's no real need to explain any of that, I would think. I'm just gonna... Yeah, like I said, I never really did care. I'm going to leave the stuff on the ground alone because I don't feel like messing with water physics right now. But I will take this above ground. I'll leave that alone, but that coast over there looks fit for plundering. And of course there's sand in the water here. There's clay too, which I can use. I mean, there's no law against it, but I don't feel like it right now. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Unfortunately, I slip into this sort of dead space / coma state when I actually focus on something to play on, which is bad because you need to keep the commentary going. Like I said, there are people who come for the game, and then there are people who come from the commentary. Since I'm trying to be a nice and varied skill host, I need to be able to keep both things up, and I'm just not good at it. I'm really not, I'll admit it. I can talk and talk and talk, or I can play and play and play, but talking and playing at the same time is not an easy skill to master. Especially talking and playing and then making it interesting. Many of you already know I have a tendency to just gab on about fact and trivia, and I'm not the kind of person people watch for that, unfortunately. I'm not. I do enjoy the extra sound effects they've put in. On occasion, you'll hear your character mumbling as he or she... I've got to remember there's a female character now. Not that I mind, of course. It's just, I'm so used to saying Steve. If you listen closely when I'm quiet for a second, you can hear the crackling of the fire in the forge furnace. Eventually, this entire area will be covered in chests, you know, in case you couldn't tell already. Speaking of which, I'd better get some of this stuff out of here before I lose it all. I'm gonna need to get more wood. But first, the glass. And I suppose after I have all the glass in place, I'll let you guys go because I don't want to bore you all to death. Just consider this my tryout, my... Oh, what's the term for it? My pre-workout warm-up. Is anybody besides me noticing the huge lack of monsters at this point? I mean, I guess they did that to cater to newer people. Or, you know, maybe they just thought it was annoying as all heck. Which they would have been right. It is annoying as all heck. But, like, really, I haven't been this monsterless since I accidentally played on peaceful difficulty way back in the day and didn't realize I was doing that. 1, 2, 3. Slip. 1, 2, 3. I suppose it is a little dark. Where's that button? There we go. Now, normally I'd make this a 3 window, but that'd be redundant. So stick that there, and stick these here. Another 3 window. A couple of big 3 windows here. And a 3 window here. Now this might be just enough cobblestone in order to fill these extra gaps lying around. I suppose this will have to do for now. I can't because there are monsters nearby. I don't see any, I definitely don't hear any, but there are monsters nearby. Well, I can fix that. I can fix that. Indeed, I happen to have a spare bed on my person for just such an occasion. There we go. Can't get me down here, can you, you little... And back up. See, the auto jump's handy for sections like this, but in other cases it's just annoying. And voila! I can't guarantee what the rest of it's going to look like, but this is the base section of my inn. See, I'm only going to make it 4 tall because, you know, you only jump 1 square. A lot of people criticize me for having things that are only 2 bits high. Oh dear, I've attracted some attention. Oh wait, let me guess, he's coming up. Worth it. Totally worth it. See, anybody else who was playing Minecraft at that moment would have panicked and been like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But not me. I'm not that kind. I'm nice, I'm calm. Sort of. There's no need to panic. This is not the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, please. So, a final roundup for my viewers that specifically cannot see the horrible mess of blocks that I have put down. My entire baseline of the building and its corner posts are made of logs. Oak logs, just regular brown oak logs. The next level up, the windows are 3 panes wide and 1 pane tall, giving you a very horizontal view of the outside, which is neat because you can see that this area is a large hill which overlooks pretty much the rest of the entire settlement. So I figured that's a good view. In between these 3 block windows, I have blocks of cobblestone to fill in the gaps. On top of each window are a solid slate gray type of secondary stone, I suppose you would call it. More decorative, a lot less useful. And to break up that mass are little white stones, also in a more decorative style, and a lot less useful. And just interspersed on the odd connections and corner posts, just to spice it up a bit. And then I shall come up yon stairs and make yon floor out of stone. Raise it up another 3 blocks. Put the roof on from there. I can't guarantee how else it's going to look, because quite frankly, looking nice is not my forte. But that'll be that. Hopefully you've enjoyed the time we've spent together. Perhaps my ranting and raving has helped you understand some things. Or not. Anyway, that'll be all for now, and I hope to see you again soon.